right inside, ladies and gentlemen, so please do watch your head and step and keep close. I might have lost a whole family on my last tour. Not a joke, actually. We are going right inside, ladies and gentlemen. Please do watch your head. I wish we were able to do our own keyboard. Huh? Yeah. Oh.
Okay, guys, we're going into the jail. Okay. All right. We are in the old jail. Okay, guys, we just introduced you.
Uh-oh.
Mine's right here, Jess. What? Right in that pocket right there. Oh, God, you scared me.
Now, do me a favor, do not go in the jail cells. You're welcome to film.
Can I, just right here? I'm not so walking in. I just want
It's just a safety concern.
Oh, I understand.
I don't feel it.
In the little?
Yeah.
Can I set this up here for a second?
Welcome to solitary confinement. Now feel free to take photos from the doorways of my solitary confinement cells. But please do not go in my cells. They built a basement in Florida and the bunks are very low, so if you fall and hit something, you can go to Flagler Hospital. You get even a paper cut. I have to send you to Flagler Hospital. So please do not go to my jail cells. You are welcome to come all the way to the central holding space, making room for everyone. Oh, shoot. Awesome. Feel free to come all the way in space. I gotta go lock the front door real quick. When I come back, we'll tell you the story about that man and the Kodak picture right there. I'll be right back, guys.
Good! That takes care of her! Now we can be alone!
Alright.
Well, slap me thrice upside down and give me to my mama. How you all doing?
Doing good.
My name's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Nice
Well,
to
I'm
meet you.
glad one person has manners. Let's try it again. My name's Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
I don't know why you want to come in here unless someone dragged you, especially at night. But now that girl brought you in here, I think I just might get my revenge. Ah! I know, I'm only kidding. You see, every time that motor mouth Peter Pan talking history folk come in here, they miss the finest parts about this place. So tonight, on behalf of me and my boon companions, I'm gonna tell you about all 8 of our hangings, so you get to know us personally. Starting with this little madman right over here. I see you all notice the big Kodiak picture on the wall. That there is Sim Jackson himself, right before he swung, right in the middle with the flowers. And that there's the sheriff, old Joseph Perry, another madman. And old Joseph Perry didn't like it when someone snapped a Kodiak picture right in the middle of his hanging. Of course, most people don't think Sims deserve flowers or the Kodiak picture after what he did to his wife. They got into an argument. It turned into a nasty fight. We don't know who struck first, but we know Sim struck last. He shut her up real quick, took a straight razor, went hacking at her throat, got stuck in her collarbone, and he couldn't yank it out. A couple of neighbors came in, found Sims lifting his wife's body with her head hanging by a thread. What a bloody mess. His final wish at his execution was to speechify to the crowd. Must have been about 500 people there. He went on making a grand fuss. Told everybody he'd meet them all in heaven. You wouldn't believe what happened next. A couple of brain doctors came down from up north, wanted to perform an experiment during the hanging. Sounded kind of sick to me. They wanted Sims to wiggle his fingers as long as he could while he was hanging there. They dropped that door, Sim went on wiggling, them doctors getting all excited. They wanted to see how long it was before he lost his conscious mind. Well, Sim went on wiggling for 11 minutes. And it was all of 30 before he gave up living and they pronounced him officially dead. How do you think it feels hanging there for all that time? With your body slowly dying and your being fighting for your last ounce of air. Well, in case you've never been hung before, I'm going to tell you what it's like. First of all, they make you build the death trap yourself. Then once it's built, you got to gap at them dang gallows because they're right outside your window for a month before your number comes up. On the day of your hanging, they bind your hands together real tight because they feared you're going to run off or do something wild. They take precautions by having extra guns standing around pointing at you to make sure you're going to drop. And if you're lucky enough, you say something grandiose to the crowd. Of course, some people just don't say nothing. And Steve Johnson, he just said to a friend, "Bring my boots to my wife, because she can't afford to bury me." Them boots never got there. Steve's friend just didn't have the heart to tell him what his wife really thought of him. Nothing much. Them boots is upstairs. What are you looking at my feet for? You think I got them on? That'd be sick. You don't believe me? I'll show them to you. Come on, everybody upstairs now. Now nobody go dilly-dally down here alone, because if the home don't get you, the rat surely will.
It's getting dark, guys.
Now, do not go in those cells on the side.
It is getting darker, isn't it?
Not go in those cells on the side.
Watch step.
Never come out. All right, 2 steps coming down, 2 steps coming down, 2 steps coming down. Move right in. Fill those seats up now. Those seats are for sick. Fill those seats up. Move all the way down. 2 steps coming down. 2 steps coming down. Move right in, move right in. 2 steps coming down.
What candle just lit up by itself?
All right, as I said, do not go in those cells on the side. You can stand at the doorway with the flash of things. All right. Coming for the head of the table. Now here they are, just like I told you. Now Steve Johnson knew he was guilty, and the state was justified in doing what they did. That's why his wife wanted nothing to do with him, killing them people. It's why old Steve had nothing to say at the time of his hanging. Now, the 2 fellas that hung with him, oh, they sure had a lot to say. Their names were Eugene Baxter and Tom White. It was a triple hanging on May 31st, 1912, the last time St. Augustine ever saw a hanging. I guess when 3 bodies dropped all together at once, the town kind of lost their stomachs for hangings. Those men brutally attacked a local Jacksonville store owner named Isaac Silverstein and his family. Those murderers left their bruised and battered bodies for dead and then requested to be hung here in St. Augustine with old Steve on account they knew their sentence would be carried out quicker. You see, these men knew what jail time was like in these parts, and they deserved what they got, even though Tom was whining. "Oh, if I hadn't been friends with Eugene, this whole thing never ever would have happened." Now I'm going to tell you about a man you'd be glad you never meet in the middle of the night. His name was George Hawkins.
I knew that was coming.
Hawkins was a man who liked to live in the shadows, jumping in and out of the light. He had a dark mind and found
got
a
locked in,
perfect grave.
guys. Yeah, we did. He shut us in.
So it's really cold right now. And all kinds of stuff. And the cold, it went away. Yeah. Just went away.
Ducking behind trees, waiting for the moment to strike. He jumped up on his wagon and he cut that peddler from neck to navel.
Oh.
But he wasn't done yet. He reached inside and pulled the man's insides out. Then he used the man's own wagon to cart those remains out into the middle of the woods. He thought he'd get away with it, he did. But he didn't take into account the horse getting hungry, walking back into town with a blood-soaked wagon. And that wagon left a gruesome trail back to where the peddler was killed and good. Oh, what a cruel way to die, even for a peddler. But every man isn't always guilty. Sheriff Perry, I didn't kill my brother, you got the wrong guy. Sheriff Perry, I know that been a long time. You wouldn't do something like that. Sheriff Perry, you gotta let my husband go. He's the father to our boys.
And it got really blurry.
It got really cold over here.
Yeah.
There was a man who didn't deserve what he got. His name was Robert Lee. Robert Lee was an innocent man. His friend, James Kirby, killed a man who had a bunch of money. He was getting ready to pay his workers. And Kirby told the authorities, old Joseph Perry, that his friend, Robert Lee, helped him kill the man on account he was a coward and he didn't want to die alone. How's that for friends, huh? He changed his mind about a month before the rope started swinging. Told Joseph Perry he made the whole thing up. Sheriff Perry, you gotta let my friend Robert go. He's innocent. He didn't do nothing. I lied on him. It was too late to help his buddy. Sheriff Perry said, people are expecting a double hanging. And I can't change it now on account of a murderer's conscience. He was a madman! All right now, I got one last story to tell you and I know just the place. Come on everybody, outside these doors. The gallows is a calling. All right, go down the stairs. Go right up to that curb in front of the gallows. Down the stairs, go right up to that curb in front of the gallows. Now be careful on these stairs. Don't fall and bust something and make a mess. Because I don't want to have to clean it up.
Yeah, don't get pushed by scallows. Oh shit.
Down the stairs.
To work.
Down the stairs.
This is the gallows where they hung.
Look at that gallows coming out there. That's it.
Holy cow.
There they is. Them gallows. Look at the shadows that cast at night. I gotta tell you, these gallows don't look any friendlier during the day. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. This is the last story. You're going to want to hear this one. Come on. Move right up. Move right up. Move right up. As you're coming down the stairs, fall in behind. Now these gallows were just used yesterday. I ought to know they was for me. But I ain't like those other men I told you about. No siree. I killed the man, but it was justifiable defense. He was saying unsavory things about my wife, and I love my wife. A man like that, someone ought to shut him up. Oh, you should have been there. The look on his face after everything he said. A man like that just doesn't deserve to live, so I shot him right where he stood. Bang! The day of my hanging came soon enough. I wasn't feeling well, and if you read the rules, it states they gotta postpone a hanging if a man ain't in good health. You wouldn't be feeling too good on the day of your hanging either. Finally, I just plumb passed out. They had to drag me, unconscious, out to the gallows. Sheriff Perry just wanted to get the whole thing over and done with. He said the crowd is expecting a hanging, and I aim to give him one. But he didn't take into account they couldn't even stand me up. But that old dog Perry got aboard. He latched me onto it. I was noose high. They pulled that lever and down I came. But the board was a last-minute decision, and a bad one at that. The wind of that board snapped that rope. I went sprawling awake in a crowd, right where you're standing. Everybody was running around. Sheriff Perry was saying, "Give me a rope, give me a rope." I moaned. My neck was broken in two. I knew by the time they got another noose, I'd be dead. Finally, my time here has come to an end. What's that? Sheriff Perry, no! You're not hanging me again! Not again! Not every night! No! 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 No!
Oh my goodness, is everybody okay? I'm so sorry. I went to go check on Miss Addison and then I got locked out. Our trolley is here though, so please watch your head and step and follow us.
Got some spikes on your EVP and everything. Right here we got some orbs. And she was asking me if she could spend the night in this jail.
That would be awesome.
Now, if you are interested in that, that's definitely do contact our corporate offices upstairs. They have the people to contact about that. You can spend the night filmed to your heart's content. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have anything questionable about anything on your camera roll, do feel free to ask me. I literally get paid to know about ghosts. In addition, if you feel a little left out, feel free to visit that Ghost and Gravestones book as well as our website and our Facebook page, where we have actual haunts for both of our locations this evening. Now, I do have a little bit of bad news for you guys. This is my very last story. Everybody say, oh. You like me. You like me.
Hey, can we stop at Dunkin'?
I wish they're closed right now.
Darn.
McDonald's is 24 hours. Just right across the street from the Welcome Center. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my last story is about a very brave warrior by the name of Osceola. Now, in 1837, Osceola and his men were fighting with the United States in a war known as the Second Seminole War. Now, a truce was rumored to be offered, so Osceola decided it was time to end the bloodshed by marching up to Arcastiles and Marcos, where it was revealed that there was no such truce. Osceola and his men were thrown into jail inside the fort, where Osceola became very ill. Now, he was given a local physician by the name of Dr. Frederick Wheaton, and Dr. Wheaton was well regarded, so no one thought it was strange when he requested Osceola move to Fort Moultrie, South Carolina, where Osceola died of malaria. Now, here's where the story takes a turn for the bizarre. Dr. Wheaton requested to be alone with the body before burial, and while there, he placed down his medical bag, took out his sharpest surgical knife, and began removing the head of Osceola from his body. He covered the deed with a ceremonial scarf until the funeral the next day. After the funeral, he once again requested to be alone with his dear friend, and while there, he removed the head from the coffin, placed it in his medical bag, and Osceola was buried with none the wiser. When Dr. Wheaton returned to St. Augustine, he placed that head in a jar on display on his desk, never revealing its true source. His patients were often too polite to ask where the head had come from. Now, it is often rumored that Dr. Wheaton's children were some of the best behaved in town. This could be due to the fact Dr. Wheaton used to place the head on the children's nightstand, send them to bed for the evening, and lock them in. Now, he must have wanted well-behaved grandchildren as well, because when his eldest daughter got married in 1863, he gifted her the head as a wedding present. God. She promptly got rid of the head by donating it to a medical sanitarium in upstate New York, which burned down 3 years later. that many of the artifacts were recovered, but the head of Osceola never was. In fact, it is still missing to this very day. That could explain why we get reports of a man in Native American garb by Arcasiores and Marcos late at night. It is rumored what Dr. Eden did was sever the soul from the body of Osceola, forcing Osceola's spirit to wander eternally. Some say Dr. Reed knew exactly what he was doing. See, he had brothers and cousins who fought in the First Seminole War and were cut down by the brave warrior's hand. Maybe Dr. Reed's getting his final revenge on Osceola to this very day. The end.